And in this video we're going to create a request for information, which is one of the more simpler events that you can create in Procurement Pal. So creating a request for information, or an RFI, is simply a case of getting information from a supplier that is important to your business. Therefore we use questionnaires mostly in the request for information event, and you can you can put whatever questions you want to put in those questionnaires and get whatever information you need and score it accordingly if you need to. So in order to create an event, you have to be on the dashboard page of Procurement Pal, and you'll see on the dashboard there is a little icon there that says create event. You'll be asked to either create a new event or clone an existing event. In the future, when you've got plenty of events under your belt, you can clone an existing one, but for now we are brand new to this, and we're going to create a new event for the first time. You can see there's also a message that says our subscription allows us to create unlimited number of events, and your subscription with Procurement Pal is free. So for free you can create as many events as you like. And then we just go to create event. On the first page you'll be asked to enter the settings for the event. Now it will default to the auction, but you can just change that by the drop down box and go to request for information. And you have to give the event a name. You can put whatever you like in here, so I'm just going to put test event, and then you can put a description if you wish. There's also a box here about sending an automatic email reminder to suppliers. Now what this does is we'll send an email reminder for every 24 hours to each supplier to remind them that they've got to enter some information for the request for information. And if you don't tick this, obviously they won't get the reminder. So it's always quite useful to tick this box just to make sure that they get the first email, and if they haven't responded they'll get a reminder. If they do respond, then they won't get that reminder. And then we just need to put in a date. I'm going to put in the 7th of March here, 2021 at 2 o'clock. But you can change that to whatever you like. Maybe I'll just do that for argument's sake, so make it Monday at 2 PM. You'll notice this is at Greenwich Mean Time, which again can be altered to your time setting as you require. And we're going to press save and continue. This is where you enable your questionnaire. So I'm going to enable my questionnaire, and I'm going to name the questionnaire. So this is my test request for information, and I'm going to use a weighting model of questions and sections. So I'm going to add a section which is going to be general, and I'm going to select a weight of 50%. And brief session, this is just general information, spelt wrong, information about supplier, and then I can add a question to that section. So my question will be something like, what is your annual turnover? And I can put a number of different options of how we answer that. So I can put maybe digits only, and a weighting of this question of 50%, and I need your answer. I'll add another question to general. So my next question will be, do you have public liability insurance? Obviously what I'm putting here is just purely for demonstration purposes, and you can put whatever questions you want in here. So I'm going to put yes or no, and if they answer no, I'm going to fail them as an answer, and I'm also going to make that a 50% weighting and say the answer is required. So you can see there they've got 50%, 50%, 100% for that section, but I've only added 50% for the general section. So I need to add another section, and we're going to call this I don't know, business integrity or business ethics. I'm going to weight this 50% as well, and add a question to business ethics. So I don't know, what should I put here? Do you train staff on, I don't know, legal compliance? And that could be a yes or no. I don't have to put fail, but I can score this as well. So I could put something like 8 and 2 here if I wanted to. For a yes or no question, that seems quite unlikely. So I'm going to put 10 and 0. And I'm going to put 100% on this, and the answer is required. So you can see now I've got a very, very simple RFI. You could ask any questions in this request for information. That's the whole point. I've just put in a couple of very simple questions in here purely for demonstration purposes, but obviously your request for information can be far more in depth than this. And I'm going to save and continue. I've got a document that's been pulled into this event. If you saw an earlier training video on document library, you'll see that terms and conditions pulls in by default into all our events. So you can see that here. If I want to upload a new document, I can straight into the event here, or I can add it from the library if I have other documents in my library. And I'm just going to click next. And then I need to add suppliers. So which suppliers are actually going to be sent this request for information? Now you may have seen a previous training video on supplier groups, and that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm going to add a group of suppliers, and here's my drop down box. So I've got certain suppliers that can supply bathrooms, some bricks, some suppliers supply doors, some supply roofing tiles, and some supply windows. The whole point here is that you don't have to search for suppliers. If you group your suppliers in groups like this, you can just select suppliers or windows, for example, and that'll bring in all the suppliers that are relevant to supply windows. So that's who's going to receive the RFI. Then I just click next, and I've got all my information here. Ask me whether I'm ready to begin. So I've set a deadline of the 8th of March at 2 o'clock for the suppliers to come back. These are the 3 suppliers that we sent that questionnaire. So they will get an email asking them to fill that questionnaire, and I will see the responses in one centralized location when they respond. And that's how we create a request for information. Like I said, it's completely tailored to your needs. You can ask whatever questions you want. You can include documents and anything you may wish to get from a request for information. The good thing about this is it all comes back into the same location, so you can compare supplier with supplier, and it's a fully traceable process and completely auditable as well. If you've got any more questions around creating a request for information, then please email dan@procurementpal.com, and the last thing I'll show you is that event just creating. And there you go. You can see that the suppliers have all been invited and are awaiting a response. And if I go back to the dashboard, you'll see here as well that test event is now in my active events and has started, and the deadline is the 8th of March. Thanks very much.